As you walk through the Sacramento Historic Cemetery, you will pass the grave markers of many men who had large contributions to founding Sacramento and building it. Van Voorhees, Hopkins, Crockers, Edgar Mills. And if you're looking hard enough, you might come across this little small grave marker for Amos Catlin. And he does not have a very big grave marker relative to some of these other gentlemen, but he probably has had the greatest contribution and impact to Sacramento, because in 1854, as a California state senator, he sponsored the legislation to permanently move California's capital from Benicia to Sacramento. And today that still stands, and the state's capital has a huge economic impact on Sacramento. Now, Amos Catlin came to California in 1849, did the mining for gold. He started the Natoma Water and Mining Company, which was a big water project. In 1860, he married Ruth Ann Donaldson, who was the daughter of Dr. Alexander Donaldson in Folsom, and they had several children. Their first child, Emily, was born in 1865, and she died in 1866. Ruth Ann had twins, a boy and a girl, who died the day they were born in 1867. In 1869, Alexander was born, and he did survive. And then John was born in 1871, Ruth was born in 1873, and Harry was born in 1875. Now, as I did my research for Amos Catlin and looking for grave sites and grave markers, I couldn't find all of them. Now, I did know that the very earliest children had been moved close to Ruth Ann, who died in 1878. And upon studying the Historic Sacramento Cemetery records, I found out that Emily, the twins, and Harry, who died in 1916, were all buried here in this plot. And family was important to Amos. After Ruth Ann died, he never remarried, and he was close with his children. And it didn't seem quite right that some of his children did not have a grave marker. So I bought one, and the Sacramento City Cemetery District allowed it to be put in the plot for in future reference to know that these California children are buried here in the cemetery. Now, many of Amos's children were born in other places from Sacramento, but they were his children. And he loved California, and he loved Sacramento. He had the opportunity to go back to New York, where his home was, and practice law, but he decided to stay, and he permanently, first he was in Folsom, and then he permanently moved to Sacramento, was very active in politics, became a Superior Court judge, but he was not flashy. He led a very low-key life. He was modest, he was humble, but he had an incredibly sharp legal mind, and everyone praised him for that. And he stayed with Sacramento because it meant something to him, and his children meant something to him, and his wife obviously meant something to him. So I thought it was only fitting that his children that are here in Sacramento also be mentioned, and so that they are not forgotten, because they are part of Amos's Sacramento legacy and this beautiful cemetery. So on this beautiful spring day, I'm Kevin Knaus with History in California.